Check, check, check. Give people a minute to start rolling in. Should start showing up on people's YouTube feeds. Just had a great Friday night interview with Tobe Johnson from the Owl Moon Lab. You will be able to hear that interview coming up. October 28th is when it will be released. It is live right now, raw audio on the Patreon, but talked a lot about paranormal Bigfoot in Washington, Oregon area. Great time. Good stuff. If you would like to call in, these are open phone lines right now. I make sure that my phone is all set up, ready to go. It is. Just want to, okay, we're good there. We're good there. But if you've got something to share, go ahead. Call the number 515-809-0165. This, recorded and used on the podcast. Make sure that this is out there. We got it on Twitter too. Good stuff. But yeah, we'll be going live until about 11 o'clock. But take a few minutes to talk about Tobe Johnson's book, Owl Moon Lab. Such a great book put together by Doug Hychek's publishing company, Hanger One Publishing. Good stuff. It's very cool. You're able to, there's QR codes throughout the book, so you're able to hear sounds. You're able to watch video interviews Tobe did with different people in the book. Such a good time. I'm going to do a quick look over at YouTube. Make sure. Okay, we're good. Perfect. Hello, we've got one watcher. I appreciate your watching. These are open phone lines right now. If you've got something to share, could be a cryptid sighting. If you got any cryptid sightings, any Bigfoot stories, anything weird, this is an open phone lines program. We're going to be doing that again until 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can go ahead, give the phone number a call, 515-809-0165. Just realized I've got Do Not Disturb turned on my phone. I probably want to go ahead and turn that off. So if you're just trying to call again. Hike with Mike. What's the topic tonight? The topic is whatever you want it to be. It's literally an open phone line night again. So if you've got anything that you want to share regarding Bigfoot, I don't think I've ever talked to you before, Hike with Mike. You can definitely call the number 515-809-0165. Recorded for the podcast. Just be aware of that. And if you don't have anything to share, but you know someone who does, why don't you text them right now? Text them this phone number and say, hey, you should go call into Bigfoot Society and you should share that really cool Bigfoot thing. Or it doesn't have to be Bigfoot. It can be other cryptids. It can be weird stuff. It can be stuff that they just can't explain. But yeah, just went ahead and I did a great interview with Tobe Johnson from the Owl Moon Lab. That'll be released in 2 weeks. But it was a great time. We're talking about paranormal Bigfoot, talking about the Owl Moon area and how they have EVPs recorded there. They have Bigfoot howls, all sorts of weird gifting events. Mike Casey, how's it going? Mike Casey's a cool dude. Make sure that you are following Bigfootin' with Mike Casey. He's boots on the ground for sure. He's figuring out the Blue Mountains of Washington, getting involved with that Paul Freeman stuff. And thanks to him yesterday for providing the phone number 515-809-0165 to our new mutual friend, Michael Freeman, son of Paul Freeman. And you can catch that interview in the YouTube archives. That's last night's episode. Had a great interview with Michael. Good stuff. Make sure that you go ahead, you can pre-order his book coming out, Freeman Bigfoot Files, over at Hanger One Publishing. Can't wait to see how that works or how awesome that is, because man, I read the Owl Moon Lab, and the way that Doug puts in those QR codes and all the different, video and audio evidence, you can follow along while you're reading. Do that with Michael Freeman's book. I think there might be a little bit of that too. It's gonna clean house. So it's gonna be a great book, and I should be releasing. I think I'm going to be releasing that as a podcast episode pretty soon. I got the clearance from Michael to go ahead and to do that, to get help get the word out. But if anyone has something to share, where are you located in terms of squatches? Hey, that's a great question. So, Hiking with Mike, I am located in central Iowa. Now, you might think that central Iowa, or Iowa in general, doesn't have a lot of squatch activity. Well, you'd be wrong, because it does. Turns out in the late 1970s, there was a large amount of Sasquatch Bigfoot sightings, central Iowa, also eastern Iowa. And actually, I went on my first Bigfoot expedition with probably a lot of Tate Hieronymus. He's been in a lot of Small Town Monsters documentaries. Also, he is releasing his documentary series right now called Search for Sabe, which is a Native American term for Bigfoot, of course. And if you want to see more about myself and Tate going on our expedition to undisclosed area in Iowa, you can go over to Tate Hieronymus's YouTube channel, and the Iowa episode of Search for Sabe was released September 20th. The cool thing is, on October 20th, of course, you know why that's special, he'll be releasing the Bluff Creek episode of the documentary. So to answer your question, where am I located in terms of squatches? I can tell you that the area I live in, just outside of central Iowa, to the west of it, there have been, I've heard of at least 3 sightings south of where I am, south of the town that I'm at. I had a gentleman come up to me at the Van Meter Visitor Festival in Van Meter, Iowa, and he shared a Bigfoot encounter that he had with his buddies in the would have been, he said, early to mid 1990s. They were in a gravel pit, and something started throwing huge rocks at their heads when they were in the gravel pit. So no sighting of an actual Bigfoot, but there was something big enough to actually be throwing large rocks at their heads. So take that as you will. There's also, I have a source that was in a local forest, guess you could say state forest, did hear some vocalizations, some tree knocks. So that was a pretty good time as well. If anyone has any things they would like to share, go ahead and you can call 515 809-0165. We have open phone lines until 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've got an idea. Oh, and everyone that's listening, if you know someone that should be calling in, go ahead and text them that number. Say, hey, you should call into Bigfoot Society right now, 515-809-0165. We'll go ahead and bring them on the air. Last night, we had a really good first show. We had a good chat with Michael Freeman. Oh, unknown caller. We got first caller.
Call from
the Bovine Spiritualis.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, how are you doing?
Oh my goodness. I know from those luxurious tones, that can only mean one person.
Did I give it away already?
Is this Ben from the Hodag store?
It is.
That's amazing, Ben. How are you doing?
Good. Just chilling down here in Milwaukee right now, getting ready for the Milwaukee Paranormal Conference tomorrow. And I was hopping on the old boob tube there and seen you pop up. So.
I love it. Tell me all about the Milwaukee Paranormal Conference. It looks like it's a crazy time.
Well, I personally have never been to this event myself before. Okay. Pictures, stuff that I've seen in the past looks like a good thing. Looks like there'll be a good amount of vendors there. There's lots of guest speakers talking tomorrow. They have like movie premiere things happening tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday, I believe. There's like a ghost walk tour thing happening right now in downtown Milwaukee. And it should be a good time tomorrow.
I heard that you're going to have, or they got Wisconsin from TikTok to be involved with that. It's just pretty cool.
Yeah, she's going to be there tomorrow. Yeah, no, she came up to our Hodag Heritage Festival we had in May.
Cool. Nice.
Yep. So she came up there. So I'll see her tomorrow. She's throwing like a goth Wisconsin after party at a bar here in Milwaukee. I believe it's called X-Raid Arcade Bar. Like some live music and arcade games, and they'll have some cryptid vendors and stuff there too, I believe.
Very cool. Are you going to be you're set up there?
Yeah, I'll be set up there tomorrow. I just got a small setup, just a one table operation, not the whole Hodag shebang like I usually do when I go places. But I got enough of Hodag goodies with me, and the Hodag will definitely make a presence there.
Listeners, and I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of meeting the Hodag store, Ben with the Hodag store, and all his buds. But it is amazing setup, and I mean, you gotta go to a festival or a conference where Ben is set up with his Hodag goodness. There, it will change your life. Are you going to have the museum set up, or was that a one-time deal for Van Meter?
That was just something we did down in Van Meter there.
Special.
I'll probably at CryptidCon in November in Lexington, Kentucky. I'll probably have a Hodag museum that I'll bring there with some old Hodag artifacts and relic pieces from nostalgic Hodag times.
Oh, it's so good. And can I assume that the Hodag himself might be getting into some mischief at the Milwaukee convention this weekend?
He might be getting into a little bit. I'm gonna see if we can get him into some. I'm there by myself, so maybe I can maybe I can wrangle Goff Wisconsin to come over and Hodag it up for a minute.
That would be amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I'll find somebody to wear it. Why don't you make a trip?
I think I might have to do it. We'll see. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Ben, it's been a heck of a time chatting with you. I can't wait for our episode to air soon. But brother, I got a call coming in.
Sounds very good. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. So you guys have a good night. I'll keep watching over here.
Fantastic. Good talking to you, Ben.
Yep. See you later.
Later. All right. I did. First off, Ben's the nicest dude. If you don't know what the Hodag store is, if you don't know what a Hodag is, you need to get your life together and you need to check out the Hodag store. Pick yourself up some Hodag stuff. We just had a missed call. I'm going to try to see if I can track down. Hopefully that person will call back from, looks like it was a call from Tennessee. Oh, man. If you're watching and you just tried to call in, please call back 515-809-0165. Oh, here we go. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Jonathan Lee Perry.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Hello?
Call from
Jonathan Lee Perry.
To accept, press 1.
Sorry. I believe. Let's see if we can do. We'll do one more try. Caller, if you'd be able to call in one more time. I apologize. We're having some technical difficulties here. Give it one more try. Caller from Tennessee. Hike with Mike says, on the west coast of Florida, a hodag was a term for a bad surfer. That's pretty crazy. I wonder if there's a connection there. Okay.
Call from
Jonathan Lee Perry.
To accept, press 1. To send a
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi, the name's Jonathan.
Yes, Jonathan Lee Perry. Yep.
Thank you for calling into Bigfoot Society. How's it going today?
Good. I got a message from a friend of mine I'd shared a story with from earlier in my life of a Sasquatch encounter and with Mike Casey, and he sent me your number.
Do you mind?
Set up the chat.
I want to make sure that you're aware that this is recorded and could potentially be used for podcasts in the future. Is that okay?
No problem.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Mike is a great guy, but please go ahead. I'd love to hear your story.
Okay. Yeah. My story takes place probably in late summer of 1989. I was about 8 years old. I live in East Tennessee in Sullivan County. East Tennessee. I grew up in a very wooded area near Holston Mountain there, where there is a huge network of limestone caves. Old quarry there back in the 1800s, tons of caves, Cherokee village near the area where I grew up. Well, anyway, my family had always told stories, and the people in the area had told me stories growing up about a Sasquatch type creature they called the Black Thing. And my older brother, who has since passed away, had seen it face to face. That's another story. Many people had told stories, a very similar story you hear about Bigfoot from all over the country and the world, attacking dogs, strange lights in the skies, looking in windows. But my story, I was riding my bicycle in the area there in late summer. I was about 8 years old, and there was a big pine thicket on top of the mountain there, which there's caves all about that area. And I heard like a very distinctive ping, 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 like someone tapping rocks together, chiseling. So I, being a curious kid, rode my bike up the little hill. I remember it was a very area full of evergreen where we used to always pick out Christmas trees. And followed the sound of the ping, ping. I was alone. And when I got about 20 feet from the area or the same area of the source of the sound, it stopped, like, just dead stop. I walked over through the woods to the area, and there was a rock outcropping, kind of a little clearing. And there in the midst was a pile of chiseled, newly made arrowheads out of flint.
Ooh.
And there were chips all around it and pieces of, half made, some fully made. And there was not a soul in sight. So I looked around, and immediately, of course, my thought, because of just the fact there was no human agent in the area, I thought this must be the work of the black thing. So I took one of the half-made arrowheads, went back down the hill, rode my bike home, and was just like, oh, cool. Well, when night fell, I got paranoid. I'd heard so many stories about it, and it was very much, I believed, we all believed in it. It was just part of life. So I took the arrowhead, the half-finished arrowhead, out by the little road there and buried it in the gravel. Because I was
wow.
I don't want whatever made this to come after it, And so, now these years later, I wish I had kept it. But I was scared that, I was like, I took something from God knows what.
Yeah, because sometimes you hear like you take that stuff home, and that's when the bad stuff happens,
Yeah, and exactly. I've had other many around that same. I do remember later on that year in the fall riding my bike out in that same vicinity, and there was a tremendous guttural growl coming from the old barn near that area, like down the slope from where I found the arrowhead. A big chest rattling growl. I mean, it was filling the air, and I was, there's a couple of houses around there. No one seemed to be stirring about. No one was out. It was so loud, and I parked my bike and just stood off of it, looking towards the barn where it was coming from. But there was no way in heck I was going to go, see what that was. But I wonder if that was the same thing, the same creature showing its displeasure at me messing with its work.
I mean, I don't know what I would think in that situation. So you heard this loud growl. Was it the kind where, you could feel it in your chest or anything?
Yeah,
weird that?
It seemed to just encompass the atmosphere around me. It was like that same tone, and it didn't really stop. So loud, and coming from the barn area, and I was like, and in my mind though, at that moment in time, because I wasn't expecting it and wasn't thinking of anything except being a kid riding my bike, I didn't associate it with the arrowhead. It's very deep. I was like, what is making it? What is doing that? But later on, I was like, I bet that was that creature, that was showing its displeasure at me snooping around in its stuff, And over the years, what struck me is the fact that that's an interesting story, is I have never heard anyone else, I read cryptid books since I was a child, never heard anyone else bring up the fact about tools or arrowhead type items used by a Sasquatch that I'm aware of.
I haven't either. It's kind of a new one. Are there lots of stories of Bigfoot in that area where you had those things happen to you?
Well, probably the most famous in my family. My mom, I have a lot, but from neighbors and people around the area. But my older brother, I don't think I was born when this happened. He was out squirrel hunting with our cousin Troy, and they were back way over in the other side of the mountains, and they came upon, and it was described to me as this black thing sitting alone on a stump. And it scared them so bad they had, they didn't know what to make of it. They ran it as fast as they could to get away from it. And my mom told me that she said that my brother and my cousin, when they got they thought they'd outrun it, it was waiting for them at the end of the other part of the woods.
Oh man.
Just looking at them. And they said it ran like the wind. And she said that my brother said it had eyes like an old sad dog. Well, they ran so fast and were so afraid they ran through a barbed wire fence.
Oh boy!
Tore their skin and clothes to pieces. They were just probably had been about 16, 15. I wasn't born yet. And so in my family, in a tradition in the area, it was sort of, and I've heard this from native cultures, that if you looked into its eyes, that you might die.
Really?
And it's kind of become our family banshee, because it's sad but strange. My brother he passed away when he was 19 in a car accident. And then I was just a baby at the time. And then my older brother, by like 5 years, saw it probably 17 years ago. He told me he saw it. He was over our home place, was driving up the road to make a turn where there's a large sinkhole in a cave, and he saw it. His story was a little different. He said that it looked at him, he saw movement off the road. It was dark, and his lights hit it. And he said it had a mane that stood up in a frill on its back when he saw him, like a cat or a hyena.
Really?
Some type of like mane that stuck up, and it darted off and vanished down into the cave near the sinkhole. And then he was the next of my brothers that passed. He passed away last January.
Oh man!
In my little world, to me, it's kind of like our family banshee. I'm like, I guess whoever actually sees the thing that was always talked about so much, it comes as a foreshadowing or something, possibly. Who knows? I don't really know. I just know that those things actually. I was told that, and then those things did occur, and I did find the arrowhead myself. So, just wish I'd kept it.
That is wild to have a story like that in your, family tree, where you keep, you see this thing, and potentially we're talking about a banshee, and then the person passes away.
Almost like a death portent type thing.
Wow.
Something you don't want to encounter, but you're aware of, and who knows?
Now,
who knows
I've
what they are?
In Eastern Tennessee, there's all sorts of, interesting folklore tales, and just, are there any other stories that you heard growing up that, are still stick in your mind, or?
Of course, lots of ghost stories and things like that, but I was a little folklorist. I would go around to the old ladies in the mountains who were, been born like in the 1900s. I remember my grandmother was born in 1903. There was a lady born probably in 1902 or 1. And I would ask them to tell me, I was like, can you tell me stories of monsters and ghosts and things that you heard when you were a baby? And these people, this was the 80s, right? And so they were amazed that a kid didn't want to play Atari and wanted to hear the stories.
Right.
So I gathered all I could from these old folks before they passed on, my grandmother, and one old lady in particular. I love this old lady. She did snuff, and she such a nice lady. And most of the stories my grandmother would tell me was about what they called painters. There was lots of panthers, wild cougars, and stories of like my panthers were a big fear for the people in the 1800s in the mountains. And like my great aunt or of some sort was up herding the cows in the meadows, and a panther come out of the woods. I know my grandma said she grabbed the cow's tail, and when the cows herded out in a panic, she saved her. It pulled her out by its tail, she hands its tail.
Wow.
So I heard stories like that, but also I was a smart, little crafty little kid, and I knew that when I would bring up the black thing to these old folks, this monster, they said never heard of it, and they would get very a scared look in their eyes, and I knew they were afraid to talk about it. These were old ladies whose husbands had already long gone, and they lived alone. And so I would do. I was a little flute. I would say stuff to them like, I was up in the woods the other day, up above the cave, and I saw this weird thing that looked kind of like a person, that was all hairy and black.
Oh,
and
no.
They were like, and I was baiting them, kind of. And they would be like. They were like, how tall was it? And I would say, well, 5 or 6 feet tall. I don't know. So, like, which way was it headed? And I knew instantly they knew what I was talking about. But they were afraid to bring it up because I understand now who wants to go to bed if you're alone and elderly in the woods thinking about that stuff.
Oh, totally, yeah.
I was a sneaky little folklore, so I would be like, I heard tale, and because I learned not to call it by the name people called it. It's always black to black thing.
Right. That would shut it down right away.
Right. They're like, we don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And so when I would play, like, I saw something, what? And another episode that just came to my mind of, my dad was a ginseng hunter.
Okay.
He hunted ginseng, the roots and herbs up in the mountains. And he taught me all the stuff in woods. I remember one time it was in the same locale where I grew up, over in Sullivan County, but it was back near a big place called Clevis Springs, a big old natural spring, and it was a bit more remote. And we were on a ridge looking for ginseng, and there was a huge footprint. I'm talking like 15 inches with toes, right? Wow. Pressed down in the leaves. And I said, Daddy, come over here and look at this. And he what he said? That's a horse print. And, so he didn't want to scare me, and I was like, it was thick with trees.
So
horses don't have toes.
So yeah, I'm gonna say horses do not have toes. Last time I checked,
but that was his way.
Yeah,
I'm just not trying. He didn't want to know, and he didn't want to. What he saw, he didn't tell me, but he never. Mom was very much more. She told us everything. Daddy said, "There ain't nothing to be afraid of in the woods," But I remember seeing that with him. Those clearly can remember those toes, and big footprint. And I said, Daddy, look at this. And he was like, "Oh, it's just a horse track."
just a big hairy horse biped.
Horse with toes, shredding. That sounds even creepier. But yeah, I mean, there's so much, and there's a lot of UFO lore, all the stuff that's connected usually with the Bigfoot cryptid phenomenon. I grew up in an area where it's rich with it. People lights in the sky and just eyes glowing in the dark.
Wow.
And you always heard insane sounds at night. And this was very current up until I moved. I was at home when I was in my 20s. Before my parents passed away. I lived there, and it was still going on. There was. I never saw anything physically of that creature myself, which I guess is a good thing.
Yeah, it
is. But I did hear stuff, the growling and the footprint, and I found the arrowheads. I trekked around the woods by myself constantly, just daydreaming and playing amongst the big caves and rocks. But that's my story. Being in that area, and I don't live there anymore, and I don't want to. I think it's kind of a creepy place. I live, I don't live too far from there, but I don't ever really go back except to visit the family graveyard. But I don't, if someone said, "Hey, we'll give you a free house to live up near this cave," I wouldn't.
You wouldn't take it? Really?
I wouldn't take it. I would sell it because,
wow.
Because, I sometimes get creepy thinking about it, laying in bed in the dark. I mean, because it's real, and there's fun, scary stuff that you feel is far away and safe. If you watch a werewolf movie or whatever, or something sci-fi movie, and it's far away. But when that your people have talked about it and you yourself have experienced things, it gives you the creeps. Is the only way I can describe it. Very creepy.
Why do you think that area is so, just dense with different stories like that?
If I had to give you my firm belief as to why, it's the cave network. Whatever is the agent. Yeah, they stretch for miles under there. We had students from UT come out there, University of Tennessee, and not to me, to my neighbors. I was just a little kid, but they would talk about how they went and there was a lake under there and it went for miles. So I think the phenomena that creates the things that I had seen and people had seen, and I think it usually works beneath the surface.
Yeah,
hiding place. This network of caves are a great place for something to be going on, especially if it's something that even like I don't know, even our officials and things may kind of be aware of, but who's going to believe mountain people, And but I think that I just think that that's the reason. There's a huge network of caves and a good hiding place for that type of activity and whatever the agent is behind it.
Who knows what's down in the caves? I really hope that we don't have a whole bunch of banshees down in the caves, though. That would not be a good scenario,
I don't think they're banshees as far as the Irish fairy folklore, but I think that we do have Sasquatch type things, and God knows what they're really,
Sure.
It could be something related to alien tech stuff, or who knows. But I think that, and I agree with people like John Keel, who always said all that stuff was related. If you're talking about fairies and banshees, and then you switch over to Bigfoot or UFOs, you're talking about the same family, so to speak.
Absolutely. Jonathan,
so I kind of always just group it together.
Oh, for sure. Jonathan, thank you so much for calling in. This is, man, you got some great stories, dude. This is great.
It was a strange growing up experience, but I'm glad to share it.
Yeah, if you think of anything else weird in the future, you're always welcome to call in when I do another one of these. But thanks so much, man. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Sure. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Well, thanks, Jonathan, for calling in from Eastern Tennessee. That was a really fun conversation about folklore and Bigfoot type creatures and banshee type creatures. Man, it got wild. Uh-oh. Speaking of banshee type creatures, hold on.
Call from
Tate Hieronymus.
Speaking of banshee type creatures. Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Hey, Tate Hieronymus, what's up, dude?
Nothing.
What are you up to?
I crashed the party, baby.
Yeah, dude. Hey, this is what it's all about. Party crashers, man. Hey,
I'm watching it on YouTube right now. There's such a bad lag.
Oh yeah, right. I was actually just about to plug our upcoming show because Kevin had said next week the Patterson Gimlin film is 55 years. Guess what, dude?
Yep.
We're doing a special night of, I guess you could say, talking all about the PG film and Patty. And I mean, Tate, do you mind chatting a little bit about what that night's going to be like next Saturday? Not this Saturday, but the Saturday afterwards.
Yeah, the Saturday, the 22nd. I think 9:30 p.m. Central Time.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be a rocking group of people. It's gonna you and myself are hosting actually, which is gonna be cool. And then Jonathan Easley, Western Bigfoot Exploration, and I have a little part. We're gonna have a presentation, followed up by Doug Hychek, the creator of Monster Quest. I can never say his last name right, so hopefully he forgives me. Jesus Payam, Breaking Bigfoot. People will probably recognize him from Breaking Bad. He's going to be giving a demonstration or a presentation, I mean. And then we have Damon Irons. He's a really cool dude. He's a pilot. And we have Alexander Petikoff. So it's going to be a great night of people talking about, the anniversary of the Patterson Gimlin film. It's going to be really cool.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it, dude. It's gonna be some really interesting discussion points that are brought up. It's gonna be a good time. Everyone on that panel knows their stuff.
Oh man, for sure. It's gonna be great because the 20th, my film premieres, the Bluff Creek one. There's so much cool stuff that we found that trip, definitely more than last year. So that's going to happen. And then 2 days later, we did the live stream on YouTube.
There you go, man. I mean, that episode on the 20th, your Bluff Creek episode, what is that? That's like Is it hour and a half long?
It's an hour and a half long. Man.
That's wild, dude. It's good too.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you get back to your program. Thought I crashed the party.
Heck yeah. Hey, always a party when Tate Hieronymus crashes it. So thanks for calling in, man.
Later, dude.
Later. Awesome. All right, so we're having open phone lines until 11 p.m. Central Time. If you've got a story about cryptids, weird stuff, stuff you can't explain, go ahead, call on in. You can call 515-809-0165. It will be recorded for the podcast as well, so please be aware of that. And of course, it's live on YouTube right now because you're watching this. If you happen to know a person that should be calling in with their story, have them call 515-809-0165 and let them know that this is recorded for the podcast. Hey, Mothman 46, fact of the week, a Clydesdale print can be 22 inches. That's good to know. Also, as big as a dinner plate. Good to know. Mothman 46. Oh, let me take old Tate off here. There we go. What can I share? What can I share with you? Anyone watched any good Bigfoot documentaries? Here's one that I watched recently. I watched A Flash of Beauty the other day. That was a pretty good one. I got to talk to Tobe Johnson about it tonight. That episode of the podcast will be airing in 2 weeks on the 28th. It's live for Patreon right now. If you want to listen to it early, patreon.com/the Bigfoot Society. But he told me that they will be coming out with a part 2, Flash of Beauty part 2 next year, Memorial Day, all about paranormal Bigfoot. So should be interesting. Cool thing about Bigfoot Society is that I'm able to talk to people from all sides of the spectrum when it comes to Bigfoot and other things as well. Tate, thank you for the reminder. Iowa, search for Sabe. Best documentary. Oh, yes, of course. Because, hey, Search for Sabe has yours truly in it. So if you want to see me in my first Bigfoot expedition in Iowa with Tate hanging out, go over to Tate Hieronymus's YouTube channel. And September 20th, he had the Iowa episode release. Not too bad. It's a good watch. It's about half an hour. I still can't explain what happens at the end. There's some sounds that I capture on audio. I had an audio recorder out overnight, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I will say I can't explain the sounds that we captured. But if you've got a story, if you want to share something about cryptids, anything weird, paranormal ghosts, I don't care, whatever. Oh, okay. Mike Casey has a story about Tobe. Tobe gave Ellie her first track cast when we met him in Forks, Washington. I remember you talking about that. That is the nicest thing, just to be like, hey, here's a track cast. And, Ellie's going to remember that probably forever. Very cool. 1 second. My goodness. Fifebot says, Flash of Beauty was fine. I just felt it didn't add anything to the conversation as a whole. That's an opinion. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's a collection of sightings. What I liked about it is that it had a lot of people that you don't normally see. For example, the Stan Avery guy who was like a plumber in the Pacific Northwest and had this huge collection of like sightings and stuff from people that he would be like fixing their plumbing in their house. And then they would just tell him their Bigfoot story. Reminds me of another guy, wink, wink. I won't mention names, but there might be other guys that, do stuff like that and are able to get cool Bigfoot stories. So the lesson is For your job, make sure you're wearing something that has to do with Bigfoot or have a Bigfoot sticker on the back of your car so people tell you Bigfoot stories. Kevin says, I was at the premiere of Flash of Beauty at Beachfoot June 22nd. Kevin, dude, you're a cool dude, man. That's awesome. Dude, Beachfoot is the place to go, from what I hear. Reminder from Tate, of course, Bluff Creek, California episode, Search for Sabe, October 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 7 p.m. Central. Hike with Mike has an interesting topic here. Skunk ape tracks don't last long due to the swampy, muddy conditions. Yeah, that's true. It's probably really hard to cast a skunk ape track. Yeah, I don't know. Does anyone have any thoughts about that? Like, do you have to take extra measures to actually, you know, cast a track when it's in swampy, muddy conditions? Do you have to dry it out? I don't know. That's more questions than answers there for sure. Kevin says an emotional experience of people having encounters in a documentary. Yeah. Interesting. Let's see what we got here. What in the world? Okay. Gotta love interesting comments coming in on YouTube. Gotta love it, guys. Stay classy. Mix it thicker. Okay, Mike, I'm gonna assume that you are okay. Here we go. So it'll absorb the moisture out around the print from what I've been told. So Mike is saying that when you're going to make the print, make the mixture thicker, and then it will absorb the moisture. Hey, that's actually a good idea. So someone go ahead and do that and let me know what happens when you find a skunk ape track. All right, so we are doing open phone lines on Bigfoot Society, Friday, October 14th, 2022. The time is 10:17 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be doing open phones until 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can go ahead and call 515-809-0165 if you have a story, anything weird to share, any Bigfoot stuff, cryptid stuff, folklore, paranormal, ghost, anything you can't explain. Go ahead. Call in 515-809-0165. It is recorded for the podcast. Does anyone have any weird stuff, any weird Bigfoot sightings that they've seen in the chat? Actually, let's see. Hike with Mike says maybe fill the track with some cat litter mixed with the plaster of Paris. That's an interesting idea. Cat litter with the plaster of Paris. Someone let me know if that's actually a recommended thing to do or if Hike with Mike is just being a goofy dude. Mike Casey says more plaster, less water when mixing. Makes sense. You want a little bit of water though, right? Because you don't want it to be super. You don't want it to be all powdery and granular like. But clumping. Yeah, clumping for sure. If anyone has anyone up to any cool cryptid stuff coming up, let me know in the comments. Oh my goodness, Mothman 46. I don't know if I can't even share that comment, dude. Hike with Mike says, not a goofy dude. I have 4 cats. I know the magic of clumping cat litter. And Mike said, hey, cat litter could, that's true. We don't want to take away the dermals and the other details. So, guys, I think cat litter might be out unless you're not wanting to. Well, Tate's got an interesting idea. You could dig an irrigation line to divert the water, maybe. But what if it's like in a super swampy area where it doesn't matter, how many irrigation lines you do? I don't know. If you have a acquaintance or a friend or someone that has a good story to share, or is involved with something cool in the cryptid community, have them call 515-809-0165 and let them know that Bigfoot Society has open phone lines, and hey, you can share it live on the air. 515-809-0165. Thanks again to everyone for hanging out. We got about 40 minutes left until 11 p.m. Central. Oh, here we go. Mothman 46 is reminding us, hey, Chief Logan Park Monster Convention with Hellbent Holler tomorrow. That looks like it's going to be a super good time. Mothman 46, are you going to be there? Let me know. It is in West Virginia. Good stuff. So make sure that you are able to go to that. If you can, you'll not want to miss out. I know that Hellbent Holler has been doing stuff ahead of time. They've been doing some VIP stuff. Very cool. Let's see what we got. Mike Casey says, set a swamp trap. Dig around an area that'll keep it moist but drain the water. Who knows? Lots of stuff to investigate for sure. If you've got a story or thought about Bigfoot cryptids, etc., you want to share, call 515-809-0165. Be aware it's recorded for the podcast, 515-809-0165. Let's see. Tate says, then at point, just photograph. I saw Les Stroud use hairspray to kind of hold the track in place, but I don't know how that would work if it's muddy and really wet. That's true. At the end of the day, you have to do something so that it doesn't get all mushy. You got to get it all, firm so it's not going to fall apart on you, right? That's pretty much what we're looking at, kids. So, what else we got going on? Is anyone going to Monster Fest next year, 2023? Let me know in the chat if you're going to Monster Fest. I'm going to be there sharing. Actually, I'll be doing the podcast live. Seth wanted me to come and do the podcast live, so that'd be pretty cool. I'm excited for that. Let me know in the chat if you are going to be at Monster Fest, and if you're going to say hi. I would love to meet you. Let me know. I believe the time for that is next June. 2023. It'll be good stuff. Also, let me know if you're going to be at CryptidCon in the comments. If you're going to be,
Call from
Mike Casey.
Mike Casey, what's up, dude?
Jeremiah, how's it going, sir?
Dude, I'm rocking out. Hey, that guy Jonathan was super cool, man.
Right?
Dude,
Facebook friend.
You got the connections, man. Thank you.
Yeah, totally, man. Keeping it exciting.
Dude, what are you up to?
Just chilling in the garage.
All right.
Yeah, some families in town, so they're kind of watching the kids, so I can have a couple minutes and tune in and everything. So
very nice.
I got lucky.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What is up next for Bigfoot Adventures with Mike?
Oh, I was excited. I was going to go out. A friend from Oregon, Western Oregon, he shared a location that he's had activity, and one of his team members had a sighting August of 2020. So they I just wanted to kind of adventure again. I've been focused at the Blues so much that I wanted to, before it snows, maybe go see somewhere else. And he shared that. But house chores sadly.
I get it, dude.
Yeah.
That has to come
clean.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, I got some stuff I got to do. But hoping to get out there one more time. If not, as I stated earlier, in a post, wintertime, I kind of get into the armchair stuff, read the books, and
yep, exactly.
Kind of talk to some people, make some connections. That's my plan. I just got Laura Krantz, her new book, Search for Sasquatch.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, Ellie's in there right now trying to read it. She's looking at the pictures mainly, but totally cool. Kid's book that's I don't even know how many pages, over 100.
That's amazing. I'm going to be actually talking to her about that in December.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to
Awesome.
be a really fun interview.
That's so cool. Yeah, I didn't even know she was somebody. I heard about her on a from a podcast, or it was actually on the Discord. Your Discord.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Remember, it was way back when somebody brought it up, and it was on. I think it was on Cliff and Bobo's. They had her on or something like that. But
I think Scott brought it up because he had mentioned that the book was coming out. Maybe something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it. It's cool.
I'm sure you've listened to Wild Thing back in the day.
No.
Wow.
When we talked about it. No, when we talked about it. Now that I'm thinking about it. The 6 shows that they did.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it in years. I'm gonna have to re-listen to it because it was so well done.
Yeah. No, it was a good little miniseries thing. The trip to the nests. I mean, the book starts out with the trip to the nest. So it's super cool. I'm so like, good. That's what I'm curling up to tonight.
Definitely. If listeners have never listened to the Wild Thing podcast season on Bigfoot, definitely, it's worth taking some time. It's about maybe 5 to 6 episodes, but definitely worth it. So well done, and there's a lot of people from the community that you'll recognize in there.
And it's Grover Krantz's niece. I think it's her. He was her uncle.
Oh, here we go. So. Kevin Morrison is dropping some insider Bigfoot knowledge. So here we go. Laura Krantz related to Dr. Grover Krantz. Yes, of course. She came to Beachfoot. She was interviewing. Dude, I guess Beachfoot is the thing to do.
I know. I mean, sounds fun.
It's the coolest. It is the coolest.
It's like that mythical Woodstock of Sasquatch.
That's funny.
Anyway,
what is? Let's see. Hike with Mike. Campfire Steve YouTube channel has a cool video on tree knocks that knocks down a tree out in the woods at night. Interesting. When I was out with Tate in our expedition, we had a tree fall down right in front of us in the woods, or it was pushed over. Hard to say because we weren't exactly right there. So, but it was very weird. That's talked about in the documentary as well. I
had a crashing noise out near Mount St. Helens last September, but I didn't. Yeah, there was no knocks. There was no, I didn't see a tree. I didn't see anything. It's just, it was the loud noise.
So that's weird. So was it near your campsite, or what's the story there?
That was one of those. I was sitting in the campsite. It was the first time camping out here. I think we've lived in Washington maybe a month at that time.
Okay.
And, threw a dart on the map kind of thing. It was like, all right, I'll go here. And that spot wound up being some canyon craziness with rain. So I wound up going down the road a bit, but yeah, I was just chilling in camp. The rain had stopped. It was the next day. It was blue sky. And that was it.
That's wild. Dude.
But it wasn't metallic or anything. I mean, it was wood.
So definitely like a wood on wood sound.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a knock. It was a loud crash.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so wild. It's so wild. Mike, there's got to be, is there a spot that you're working towards going to check out? There's got to be a
Biscuit Ridge. I might do a day trip actually this weekend. I have the house chores and stuff.
Nice.
But I really want to get the Jeep out more. I'm having a lot of fun with this new Jeep, and Tate can probably attest to it. It's just this weird feeling where pavement
doesn't give it justice. And so I work tomorrow, and then Sunday, I'm thinking about heading out there. They're doing a controlled burn. It's up in near the watershed. So not a good time to camp there, but Dar Addington was kind of giving me some insider knowledge and was like, push things outside of the shed. And Biscuit Ridge is just on the opposite side. So we'll see.
Can you
it's a cool idea.
Remind me why Biscuit Ridge is an important area again?
They have found footprints up at Biscuit Ridge. Dar Addington actually gave me a footprint cast that she got in 92, I want to say, maybe 93. And then I want to say that Paul had a sighting, but I don't want to. I'm not sure if that's correct. Okay. I want to say that they saw something. It was Biscuit Ridge, and I want to say Black Snake Mountain, that area. It was either that was where they got the other film, or they just had another sighting there. I think Wes Summerlin had his sighting there. The details and everything, they scare me because they just, the main thing about the book is to get the details and the facts correct. And there's just so much that has been thrown at me. I'm like, oh, okay, this is the footprint cast of where?
If I was in your shoes, I would have to be making notes at home every time. Because it's like you're learning. I mean, the connections you're getting out there right now. You seem to be running into a lot of information really quick.
I need to get a Xerox machine, dude, because I got some of the old Trackway casts. It's like the Bigfoot newsletters back in the 90s.
You do,
Dar let me have those. Yeah, she gave me like 10 of them, and I get to read these 10 and bring them back, and then she's going to give me 10 more.
Mike.
And I have no way to copy these. So
yes, you do. Do you have an iPhone?
Technology I do.
Okay.
Do I scan them?
Hold on. I'm gonna walk you through it right now. Okay.
Oh, please, because I don't know what to do.
You know your Notes app?
Yes.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna look. Hold on. There's a way to
scan.
So
this is the notes. Yeah. So the camera icon. Okay. I know how to do that, but there's so many.
Dude,
I mean, these things, it's like a mini book.
You've got 10.
And
you got 10.
There's 10 of them. Yeah.
That can't be that many.
I'm gonna have to offload these. Dude, they're in a manila envelope. Like legal size.
Mike.
It's a stack. It's a good inch thick.
Mike, just scan the documents. For everyone else who can't read them. For Pete's sake.
Yes.
Or at least so you have copies because you have to return them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, just give it a try. Give it a try, man, please.
It's pretty crazy. She and I, there was I think I told you the other night, but one of the Bigfoot legends up here, Mike J, passed away last week.
You were telling me, yep.
Yeah, so there's this like a monthly meeting up here for the Northeastern Oregon Blue Mountain Bigfoot research groups to just kind of come together, talk, commune, sort of stuff like that. And Mike had been trying to get me over there like since I moved up here. I feel seriously, truly awful that I never made it and never got to meet the man. But Dar and I will be going to the meeting next Monday.
Nice.
So that'll be cool. We get to meet Squatch America, Scott and Hannah. Couple other people.
Yeah. Okay. I know who they are. I've seen a little bit of their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. A little adventure with Dar.
Nice. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? is any of that stuff, do you think, going to make it on the Mike Casey YouTube channel or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out camera stuff. I'm right now, all those videos that I have on my YouTube, they were done pretty like 98% with my iPhone. That was all
That's
with
all
like
right,
a little,
yeah.
So it's kind of compiling all that stuff, and I want to kind of elaborate because I mean I have the GoPro attached, so I haven't even gone through that footage. So, I'm trying to up the ante, make them a little bit longer, better, actually talk in some of them.
Sure.
So, yeah, trying to improve them. But again, one-man show, trying to.
I get it, dude.
And I'm not a tech guy. That's like, I wish I had somebody that I could like send all this stuff to and.
Yeah, I know.
Build it up.
Being a one-man show
But
is
not
tough,
yet.
dude, because at the end of the day, you are the bottleneck,
Yeah.
You can only get so much stuff done.
Yeah. Yeah. But if I don't get it done, then it doesn't get done.
And no one ever sees it. And scan the documents.
Like Jonathan Easley and I, we had a trip up there, and none of like our videos haven't even come out. Main reason is for the respect to Michael Freeman and the book.
Yeah, sure. Which is
we want to kind of let the book.
Yeah,
we want to kind of let the book come out and let people read that, and then we'll release our films.
I hope
Jonathan's making his film. Yeah.
Mine's
about 15 minutes long so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense now that you say, why it hadn't come out, because I was like, man, why isn't there stuff come out yet? But that's a good idea that you're waiting for Michael to get his stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he asked for that too, and I was just like, well, totally, bro.
Totally.
But the fun story for that one was got to meet who has now Paul Freeman's job. So that was cool. I got a ticket while up there.
Oh, that's
we had
we had
that little campfire, so we got to meet the new watershed marshal.
Which is a good connection to have, because hopefully, he'll remember you if he runs into any weird stories, maybe.
I hope so. What I really got to do is build up the gumption to talk to this guy. I don't know what his deal is. I'm guessing he's a hunter, but he has been camped out at the entrance to Deduck Trail, like that little pond turnoff, all summer.
You think he's like a homeless dude?
No, he's got big old Fords and
sure.
ATVs and a nice tent. But like the guy's gotta have heard stuff. But
the
guy's been there for so long. It's like, does he want visitors? So
that would be funny.
I don't know. Maybe if that guy listens, wave me next time, and I'll come over.
He absolutely does. Yeah, dude, you should like offer him, like, walk by and like, what's the top beer in that area?
Oh, I don't really drink.
It's probably not.
I don't know.
Oh, that's true.
I tried Rainier when I first got up here.
Go.
It was all right. Yeah, I could bring him some Rainier.
Be like, hey, bud, you like Rainier? And have you heard Bigfoot around?
Yeah.
Or you could do like IBC root beer from Walmart. That works too. So
that, remember Dad's root beer? Remember that stuff?
Dad's root beer is great, dude. That's good stuff, man.
Where's that stuff been? That came into my memory bank like a week ago, and I was just like, gosh.
Now I want to have
good
some.
times.
I want to have some Dad's root
good
beer.
Times, right?
Are you getting the book in hardcover?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
And I'm not joking about that 2 copies thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I bought 2 copies. One's going to be for the coffee table, and one's going to be for the backpack, lugging it out.
I'm going to have to. I might send Dar another message just in case the first one got lost or something.
Yeah. I'll reach out to her again, and just be like, hey, Jeremiah's going to reach out, and she's just got so many stories. It's so fun to listen to her.
You could even be like, hey, he had Michael on his. He talked to Michael for a bit, you know, and that might help out too. I don't know, but
I didn't even think about sending her. I don't know if she even has heard that. So I got to send her that link.
Yeah, I'll be putting that up as a podcast episode in the next few days. But you could always do the. It's up on as a YouTube episode right now.
Cool.
So,
dude, I'm sorry. I didn't even think about it until all of a sudden, like, I saw your face when it said Michael Freeman, and I was like, oh no, now he's like not prepared, doesn't have his questions. I felt so bad, but then it just, dude, you made it happen. You made it work, and I was like, oh, Jeremiah, you're fantastic.
You have to make it work, dude. That's
Solid,
that's
bro.
what part of the fun is, dude. I mean, think about like a format like this. It could get to the point where like someone like Bob Gimlin calls in.
Yeah.
Like if I keep doing this, it could eventually get to the point where like, you know, people like that could be like, okay, like I got this number. Hey, let's see where it is. Like it could turn into that, I think. So we'll see.
It's a super cool idea. I've been enjoying this, and it's only been two shows so far.
I've been wanting to do this, Mike, for like a year, and I haven't done it because I just figured out how to do it tech wise.
Yeah.
So
see, tech. It's weird, man. It's difficult, but once you get it, you got it.
Tech will get you, dude. Every time.
No. I know. I have my eyes on this new camera. I don't even want to say the name of it because it could change some things. It could just be a fancy camera for videos. I don't know. But I'm afraid to jump on it because, again, it could just be like I'm still learning my GPS Garmin. It's like one of my must-have need things to have when I go out there. And I'm still like reading through the manual, like, what does this button do? Like technology and that don't work. And so this camera is like scaring me and everything. Cause it's like $600, $700. And I'm like, ah.
What is the sweetest piece of tech that a Bigfooter could get right now, do you think?
Oh, thermal imager.
Okay.
Aside from that camera, I have my eyes on what Jonathan has, that Taipan. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, that thing was so much fun when we were night cruising. We saw the bear, we saw countless deer, the cougar. We couldn't therm the cougar, but we got a picture of it and saw it twice. That thing was fun.
It's a weird brand name, right?
ATS, AD,
yeah. He
something
sent me
like
the
that.
link for that. Yeah, because it's cheaper.
But it's like, I mean, $500.
Right. It's
$500 or
cheaper than a
$600.
FLIR. Yeah, dude. Totally rocking.
The list goes on, though. I mean, there's so many fun things. I mean, and just even that. I mean, the bushcraft side. Like, I really, really, really want to get like to where I can park the car, park the Jeep, and just hike out. There's this area called the Winaha River Basin, and it's what is it? Wilderness hunting land. It's accessible, but you can only ride a horse in or hike in. There's no roads, and it's huge. It's like the upper corner of Oregon, northeastern Oregon.
Wow.
So I have been told that could be where they go in the winter, or it's right on the other side of the ridge from the watershed. It's pretty amazing, actually. I didn't know it was that close.
That's wild.
But if you drive up the road and you hang a right and you go to Squaw Spring, that is where Wes Summerlin has his tree memorial. Right on the other side of that ridge is all wilderness land, and
wow,
that's where I really want to get going.
Yeah,
but kind of kind of took the time at D-Duck Spring this summer. Next summer, that's the plan.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I think it was worth it to do the D-Duck Spring stuff this summer for sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. That has been a wild ride.
Oh yeah.
That first trip out, where I had the like scenic view where all the spots were taken, and I had Instagram live stuff going on.
Yep.
I didn't know anybody in this area. Lucked out on that spot. And then after that, that's when I remember talking to Clint Miller. I think I talked to you about him, the guy from North Carolina.
I think
he's the one that told me to reach out to Michael. And I mean, I was just thinking about it earlier today. I was like, yeah, I still have those Facebook messages, like with me and Clint talking and being like, I'm so nervous. It's Michael Freeman. Like, like you said, yeah, like the Michael Freeman. Like, yeah, I think it's cool. I'm honored to call him a friend. That's super cool.
Just from the little time I was able to talk to him, you can tell he's a very like genuine, down to earth guy. So pretty honest about stuff. So
yeah, it's been really cool chatting with him. And I've only actually talked with him on the phone once, and it was during work. And again, if the customers, like I do pest control, if that customer ever listens to this podcast, I'm sorry, but now here's the explanation. I was talking to like sort of an idol of mine. So if my face kind of lit up or I got a little pep in my step, that's why.
Dude, have you watched A Flash of Beauty, that documentary?
Yeah, I've watched it multiple times.
The part when the guy who's the plumber is talking about like how he gets all the stories from his clients.
Mm-hmm.
I was
totally know it.
I was thinking of like, dude, that's totally Mike Casey.
Yep. There's I got a story from the old guy. He grew up in Shelton, Washington, and there's some shack trail up there. And back in the 70s, he was camping there with his friends, and woke up one morning. They were all getting ready to leave, and they looked up on the ridge line and just saw the silhouette of this huge. I mean, you saw. He said he saw the shoulders, the head, everything just standing there, moving back and forth, and then dip back behind the hill.
Wow.
Right? And I'm just like, dude, I wear your pin on my hat while working, so
exactly.
I'm like, yeah, bro, Bigfoot, and so that's how I get most stories.
There you go.
Dude, Bigfoot Society.
Heck yes, dude.
Through and through.
Kevin says, I know Stan, and he is passionate and very knowledgeable. Rock on, Stan. Very cool. Well, thanks for calling in, Mike. You are the coolest dude.
Totally, man. No, man. You make it happen.
Let's do it, dude.
I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you too, brother. Scan the documents. Do it.
I'm going to do it. So the family's actually they're going out of town with the family members that came in.
Okay.
So I get to stay home and do the family chore, the house chores. But that'll be my project this weekend. I'm going to make it to do. Scan
documents while you're...
Pretty sure I can share those. I might be able to share those. I'll ask. So if I can, I'll let you know.
You should totally ask. I honestly, I don't think that those are even... Have I talked to you about the website Isaac Coy? Have I talked to you about this guy? Where he has all these old, like, it's mostly UFO journals and newsletters from all over the different years, but he's got a few Bigfoot things in here too. But I don't think he's got... What was the name of the journal you had again?
The Blue Mountain Trackwave. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, not that one. Wow.
They're right here.
Very cool.
Let me pull them down from my shelf here.
He's got the big one he's got is the Bigfoot Bulletin by George Haas from the 60s to 70s.
Oh my gosh. So they're called the Track Record International Bigfoot Society. A subsidiary of the Western Bigfoot Society.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
This one's here is from 2005. I think she said the first 10 that she gave me was like the 10 that she thought were the most fun and interesting.
Nice.
Something like that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like, so much fun stuff to go through. Just finding the time to go through it all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin says, hey, networking is so important in the Bigfoot community. It really is. That is like the number one lesson of all time that you can learn, right, Mike?
It is.
Networking.
And like Michael said, last night we're all working together. I don't get why everybody needs to be at each other.
Right.
Like work together. It's been so much fun meeting everybody, talking to everybody. I've met a few people that have been a little standoffish,
a little sassy,
but yeah, a little sassy.
Oh, wow.
You know, like very determined on their points of view, and where the Facebook Messenger, I mean, you're scrolling for a couple thumb lengths, you know. And it's like, oh my gosh, man! You send me a novel, you do a copy paste, and you do this to everybody, or what? Like
they're locked and loaded, ready to go, man.
Yeah.
But, hey, you
so
can
it's like it's have fun with it.
Oh yeah,
enjoy it.
It's what it's all about, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I try to have fun with it. I try to talk to people from all over the board. You know. Everyone from NAWAC to Tobe Johnson. So,
yeah.
You know.
And like something sparked my memory right there. Like Tate, Eli, and Alex, they take it seriously, but they also like to have fun.
Exactly.
That's what life's all about, man. You can't focus it just on a topic and everything. You just be super, super serious.
Yeah, if you're too serious, like you're gonna get burned out eventually.
Yeah, you gotta have some fun with it. The adventure aspect alone is so much fun. I'm looking at my fridge. I got maps and stuff, and I'm so the Indian Heaven Wilderness is an area. I'll be doing the Blues next year, but the Indian Heaven Wilderness is an area that I want to adventure out to next summer.
Where's that
also between I want to get this right. It's between Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams.
Oh wow.
Gifford Pinchot area.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember when I first got into this and I was talking to you, you asked what's your favorite book? And it's Where Bigfoot Walks, and that's still my favorite book.
Okay.
Because of the story aspect of it and the adventure aspect of what this guy did. And I want to, I know I don't have the time to do his trail or the hike that he did, but I want to go up into those areas. I want to adventure around, walk the lava beds, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is actually not far from where I was last September, where I was telling you about that tree crash. That's where I heard that chimp noise, potential chimp noise.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then the game camera caught that weird. When I went to Forks, Washington, everybody there was calling him a tree peaker. So if it was a Sasquatch, the tree peaker.
Really? So like people you would talk to in town in Forks, they had the special name for them?
Yeah. The ones that just kind of hang out behind trees and just peek out around and they're gone. Because in the same second on that trail camera, it's there. And then in that, like literally the same second, because it's time stamped, it's gone. So it was a fast, whatever it was.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. Well, man.
Who wrote? I'm skipping on Robert Alley.
Yeah, Rain Coast Sasquatch.
Yeah. Yeah. He had me email it to him. The picture.
Oh, really?
So that's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then sign something. He might use it in a book.
What did he think of it?
Tree peaker.
All right.
Yeah, I showed him all the pictures. We shuffled through all 200 trail cam photos and all the other pictures from around camp that I took. he called over Craig Yanni. It was kind of cool.
Craig Yanni. Why is that name familiar? I know I've heard that name somewhere.
He does Sasquatch or Squatch Days, I think it is. And then he hosted he hosted Sasquatch Days up in Forks. And then he does Squatch Fest. That's it. In what is it? The town that the miners came back to after Ape Canyon, Kelso.
Oh, geez.
Kelso, Washington.
That's a good trivia question there.
That's how I remember things. Yeah, it's like, what's the name of that town? Oh yeah, no, the miners were there after their attack.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, Mike, I
think
they
actually just released. I know I'm rambling on, but they actually just released the. I think it's Sasquatch. The Sasquatch Days in Forks next year's, which is a cool lineup. Doug Hightek will be there.
Tobe was talking about this. Yeah, because it's the premiere of Flash of Beauty 2, but they're also doing a it's gonna have all these big names there, but there's also gonna be a what was it? What's it called? I can't oh my goodness, I'm blanking out, Mike. When you when you have a back and forth with someone where
a
debate, yeah. They're gonna have a debate where it's gonna be like paranormal camp versus flesh and blood camp, and it's gonna be Tobe Johnson on one side versus I can't remember. It was at was it named Nancy? He didn't have the full name of the person, so but there's gonna be an actual debate there too, so that'll be interesting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but
wow, that will be cool. I'll be definitely going to that.
Dude, checking that out, checking out all the Twilight stuff, it's like a win-win.
Yeah, well, I went there with Ellie, and there was a massive line for that Twilight Forever event or whatever tour. And I asked the people, I was like, are there cast members in there or something? And like, oh no, it's just some of the clothing that they wore.
Oh my goodness, that's wild.
Like, really? And then I'm standing there with Ellie in the front of the event center, and I'm looking at these people, and I'm like, there's a Bigfoot conference right here, like so much cooler. Get out of line and come over here. Come on.
Hey guys, you're missing out on the Bigfoot stuff.
Seriously, how are you guys standing in line? I mean, I don't know. The movies were cool, I guess, back in the day, but I'm old, so I was young when those things came out.
I'm surprised Bigfoot wasn't in those movies. Hey, Small Town Monsters is hanging out. What up?
What?
Yo. But the question is, who's on the account right now? Is it Seth? Is it Eli? I'll never know. That's kind of the question, though. Or maybe it's Heather. Maybe it's Courtney.
Any one of them super cool.
Mark Matsky. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. But Small Town Monsters rock. Everyone watch an a true mystery.
They actually just released Squad Edition. If you're not a Squad member, become a Squad member. Get on over there,
dude.
You get the 4Ks early.
Have you watched? Did you watch Adirondack Beast today?
No, but I was thinking about it for my lunch, but it's 45 minutes. I only get 30 minutes. I didn't want to watch a bit and then have to stop it. So,
Mike, it's really good.
I don't know. My wife just gave me the evil eye, so I think she's going to bed. So I might be able to get the TV for a bit. I gotta watch it.
It's definitely worth it. I like how they go out with Emily and team at the end to do a little squatching. So it's a good episode all around, though.
Oh, because of the Whitehall event.
Yeah, it's very good.
Cool.
Oh my goodness, it's awesome. Seth, Alex, and Eli at the same time. Whoa.
Oh my God.
How is that possible, dude? I don't know.
This is that fan moment right here, where it's like I gotta try and remember what I'm trying to say.
Totally, dude.
Idols. No.
Well, Mike, it's 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know what that means.
Yeah, no, it has to be time for wrapping stuff up.
I know. Thanks so much.
This was cool.
You are the man of connections. Jonathan was a cool dude to talk to. Thank you for that. So,
hey, of course, anytime. I didn't know you were doing one tonight, and so I was like, oh my gosh, who can I think of? And literally, as you were saying that, if you got a friend, send him the number. And I had like literally just sent him the number. I was like, oh, there you go.
There you go, man. Thanks.
There you go.
Always fun talking to you, Mike. Have a good one, dude.
Yes, sir. You too, buddy. Have a good night.
Peace.
Bye.
For everyone hanging out, thank you so much for listening. I'll be doing more of these, kind of a open phone lines. Again, if you have a story you'd like to share about Bigfoot, cryptids, anything weird, I don't care, weirdness, stuff you can't explain, feel free to share it. Call on in, 515-809-1001. Let's try that again, 515-809-0165. It'll be recorded for the podcast. I'll be sharing these out. And we'll end with that. But again, thanks for hanging out. You all have a great weekend. If you want to hear more stuff, you can go to BigfootSocietyPodcast.com. You can look up Bigfoot Society on your preferred podcast platform. And like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future phone line events in the future or any other interviews as well. Have a good night, all. And Tate, I'm not posting your comment.